If you're familiar with my favorite movie, The Natural, then surely you know the tale of Roy Hobbs, played superbly by Robert Redford. Roy is a boy wonder pitching prospect with big dreams who wants to be the best there ever was to play the game. After a devastating freakish setback in his youth, he returns to the field 16 years later as a middle-aged man who gains stardom, but must eventually make a choice that tests the very fiber of his character. All along his journey he is tested, trying to figure out who is actually on his side and who is attempting to set him up for failure. The new co-curricular code at De Pere High School will, in the same way, ask you to make difficult decisions. For Roy, it was a question of whether he should take a large sum of money to fix a game. For you, it's largely a question of whether you will want to take the risk of using drugs and alcohol. It's no secret that drugs are available to teens everywhere, and surveys support the fact that a significant number of teens drink alcohol as well. It's also no secret that peer pressure can be astronomical in high school, with the pressure to experiment with drugs and alcohol at or near the top of that list. We at De Pere High School have developed a strict code to make the decision about using drugs and alcohol a very easy one for you. It's not worth it. Everything in this code is designed to make you aim higher, achieve more, learn personal discipline, and enjoy the fruits of all that goes along with a high school education. The nuts and bolts of classroom learning are important, no doubt, but the traits and characteristics you acquire in your co-curricular experiences will stick with you long after your time here. We have written a code with strong penalties, not to scare you, but to help you make decisions about drugs and alcohol use that ensure you and your friends the best possible experience here.
My name is Valerie Pokladowski. I graduated with the class of 2007, and through all the clubs and the extracurricular activities that I was in, I definitely gained individuality as well as teamwork and a whole load of responsibility. It's not so much of gaining your individuality as like realizing it. You go into that club knowing that you don't have to form to a certain way. You can be yourself and you can be an individual, and it's fine. I got to know different people that I would never have even thought of getting to know at all without being in this club, and realizing that there's so many different things that they've taught me and so many things that the club itself has taught me that I can use and that I just would never trade for anything.
My name is Brad Hutchins from, I was the class of 1999. When at De Pere, I was in football, basketball, and track. I really learned how to work in a team. I learned a lot of leadership skills that I don't think I could have learned in the classroom. In fact, I know I couldn't. You learn a lot about yourself when things go against you in a game standpoint. You learn how to bounce back. That those type of experiences do not happen in a classroom setting. I was a captain along with two other people, and we didn't get down on ourselves or on our teammates. And we had been playing together as a team for probably six years, so we trusted each other, and I think that's an important aspect that you learn in sports. Deal with business owners, and a lot of them are probably like 40, 50 years old, and I walk in the room and they're supposed to somewhat listen to me, and I'm supposed to give them advice on from a financial aspect, what type of structural loan they should be having and things like that. And it's the confidence that I gained from the athletic field.
Allie Hayes, and I graduated in 2005. I was on the girls' golf team for all 4 years. I did musicals, plays. I was in show choir, band, choir. About 6 different clubs that I actively participated in, and I co-founded Tattoo, which is Teens Against Tobacco Use. What I got out of it were the relationships, the friendships that you build from the different aspects and the different sides of high school, and the different sides of leadership and communication skills that you get out of any kind of activity. Co-founding Tattoo with Sarah Peters was huge. I never thought that I'd be able to undertake such a massive responsibility. It was a strong program. We went to the middle school every year and gave presentations, and it was one of the most rewarding experiences I've had. You can make the time. The busier you are, the easier it is to get your homework done. I found the better I did in my classes because I had to be more focused, more disciplined, and it's just such a great experience. It makes high school fly by. It's so fun.
Brian Spaeth, class of 1995 at DPHS High School. I played varsity football, basketball, and baseball. Biggest thing I got out of playing sports at DPHS was competition, friendships that I developed in those teams, because as soon as I got out of high school, you're competing for everything. All of my best memories from high school are from competition and from sports. And the best one for me was beating West De Pere in a basketball game to go to the arena. And just a great team building, camaraderie, and the excitement that we all felt at that time was just, that's the things that you talk about when you meet up with those people again in the future. I'm in a sales position now where I want to win. I want to win my sales. I want to be the best in my company, and that's what I get rewarded for. You develop a lot of friendships in high school, and when you meet up with them 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, you aren't talking about that party that you went to or something like that. You're talking about positive experiences with those people that you played with. That was the biggest thing for me, and that's why a lot of the guys that I played with, we stayed away from those things. We stayed away from the parties because we didn't want to disappoint each other, and that works out for the best for everyone.
My name's Kelly Schwartz, and I graduated in 2005. And I was involved in drama club where I was vice president and president. I was also involved in jam session and varsity choir all 4 years of my high school experience. What I got out of it was a lot of different things. Most importantly, leadership roles, taking on those responsibilities, especially as a senior, and kind of directing the underclassmen. Just working with different people. It's a really diverse environment, and just knowing to get along with different personalities has helped me out a lot. It's interesting how outside the music classroom especially, you can be in totally different cliques, but once everyone comes in that music classroom, you're all on the same level, and it's really great because we're all coming together to do the same thing, and that's to make great music. If I was having a stressful day of school, or if I had a big test coming up during another hour, you walk into that choir room and it all went away, and everyone was very supportive, and you could just get away for that 50 minutes of your day and not have to worry about anything else. We got to go on trips to other parts of Wisconsin for show choir trips, and that was also a really fun experience. We got to do overnights too. It's great meeting other groups that have the same passion for music as you do, and going out and competing and showing what you have to other schools, and that was a lot of fun. My extracurriculars in performing arts made me decide what I wanted to do in college, and that was perform. So going to school, I got in a choir there, and I'm still doing the great stuff, and actually I got to travel with that choir too to South America. So just performing arts in high school really opened up the doors for me in college, and really it just helped me be myself and be like, I can do this, I'm good at it, and I have so much fun doing it, and it's a great crowd in college too.
Opposition is sure to arise. We are holding students to a higher standard than we have in the past, and our policies are tougher in comparison to other school districts. That being said, many issues in the code can be looked at in two ways, negatively or positively. We're now going to take you through some of the more controversial aspects of the new code.
For athletes, the first violation of the code will result in a 50% loss of contests, and the second offense will be 100%. Depending upon when a violation occurs, the suspension could cover 2 different sports seasons, with the percentage added up to get the appropriate total. Violations can range from drugs and alcohol to criminal behavior, internet misuse, hazing, harassment, and others as listed in the co-curricular handbook. Hosting a drug or alcohol party results in a 100% season suspension on the first offense and a banishment from all co-curricular activities at De Pere for a second offense. For Group 2 activities, i.e. most clubs, penalties are in the form of 40 and 80 hours of school or community service. In all third offenses, the result is banishment from co-curriculars at De Pere High School.
So if I get caught, I miss 50% of the season.
I miss 50% of my basketball games.
I miss like half of my soccer games.
How would you get into a good college with that record?
I don't know.
So because you mess up once in high school, you'd mess up the rest of your life?
I think we should get a second chance. We all make mistakes.
It's unreasonable.
When we looked at it, right now it's 3 strikes. We're somewhat consistent with what we had done in the past and also what Kimberly does. So with the first offense being 50%, the second one was 100% of the season, and the third one, just like the current code, it's you're done for the rest of your career. But from my experience, I think the 50% probably is a little bit harsher than is seen at most schools. The code did follow the Kimberly code, and we looked at probably another 10, 12 codes along the way. The 50% was probably at the higher echelon as far as penalties for the first offense. Being part of a team and breaking the athletic code not only hurts yourself, but you've got to think about your teammates, your family along the way, parents. A lot of time has been put into this since these student athletes were young. One of my favorite sayings is, the reason why people do not succeed is they give up what they want for what they want at the moment.
Presence in bars and parties where alcohol and drugs are being used is prohibited. This rule does not include places like bowling alleys or restaurants. Students are allowed to be at ceremonies or celebrations such as weddings or anniversaries, but they are not allowed to drink alcohol at these functions, even with parental permission. Parental permission does not override the code.
If I go to a party and I don't even know there's going to be drinking there, and it turns out there is, am I supposed to just go home and not have any fun?
They don't even want us to hang out with friends anymore.
I know they're controlling every aspect of our lives.
They're taking away every right we've ever had as a teenager. It's not fair.
Do they not want us to go out? Do they want us to stay home all day, or whatever? But I think the main goal is to try and keep as many people out of trouble as possible. And whether people believe that or not, we can't really help that, but I honestly think the reasoning for it is just to keep kids out of trouble as much as possible. There were a few people who had different opinions, and those were talked out, and I think once it was all said and done, there was a general, consensus on who, everybody pretty much was in favor of what was decided. Things that happened kind of put us in a position where something needed to be done. I don't know if there would be a new code if as many events that happened, if all that stuff hadn't happened. I'm not even sure if there would ever have needed to be a new code, but something needed to be addressed.
Between my job, sports, and all my other clubs, who has time for homework anymore?
Yeah, no, geez, it's really a stupid rule. I mean, some people just have a hard time keeping their grades up.
We had come up with the 1.5 grade point average. If a student falls below that 2.0, they would be for a certain number of days on probation, and their grades would be rechecked, and just that to know that they're getting close to that 1.5. And we know that in De Pere School District, it's very important to have high expectations for our students and know that we can help them and provide the resources they need to be successful, first as a student, and then secondly in their extracurricular activities, whatever that may be.
So I think this whole drug testing thing is really stupid because, maybe if I'm just sitting around eating lunch or taking a test in class and they just pull me out and make me pee in a cup right in front of them, that's uncomfortable. It's just...
it's an invasion of your privacy. And just how random is the test? Because they might just be going after the athletes, because you don't know. We don't know how they choose the tests.
Right. And, I don't want to play. I have to play a sport and have to pee in a cup. That just seems stupid.
Well, I would say this, is that, anything we've adopted in the policy is not to impede or infringe on their rights or their privacy. it's to help them. It's to help all of us. It is more of a group than it is any one individual. If you take a look at there being other ways that are less invasive, I think if you take a look at the policy that we've adopted, it's one that we are putting in place and replacing a policy that hadn't been touched for 20 years. I think it's important for us to see how this year goes, get it behind us and see how the new policies worked and work through it together and effectively, and then evaluate it after a year and then move forward and make adjustments. I think it's important anytime you have policies or laws or rules that are put in place that you evaluate it all the time. And we're not going to wait 20 years again to do that. So I would say if you have input, talk to your teachers, your coaches, your counselors, talk to the athletic director, talk to Mrs. Brace, because those are the people who want to hear from you throughout the year as we move forward here, and I think we're all going to be better off for it.
The code has several other provisions, including a severity clause, honesty penalty reductions in which students can admit violations before school or police knowledge to receive a cut in the suspension, the process for determining violations with the athletic director and/or the administration, and specifics on the appeals process with the district. Please carefully read the entire code and let us know if you have any questions. Here's the big picture, everyone. As a high school co-curricular participant, you are one of the most visible people in our community. High school sports and other co-curricular activities are extremely popular, both in spectator attendance and media coverage. Your names will become very recognizable within the school and community. People you don't know will come to watch you play and perform. When you carry yourself with integrity on and off the school grounds, everyone wins. You, your parents, the school, and the entire city of De Pere. We hope that the co-curricular code, as adopted by the Unified School District of De Pere, is accepted and followed, helping every day of your high school career be a great day to be a Redbird.
Finally, we've reached the paperwork portion of the program. This is critical because you need to have all of this completed before you can practice. Please listen and watch carefully. Or before you start practice, turn in your emergency medical treatment form. It's the quarter sheet of yellow paper. If you cannot fill it out completely tonight, bring it into the office tomorrow or as soon as possible. Turn in your physical card, the blue card, or the alternate card, the pink card, if you have either with you tonight. Again, please check to see it's completely filled out. It's two-sided. If you've had a physical after April 1 of the previous calendar year, you do not need a new physical. Just complete the alternate card, the pink card, out. If your last physical was prior to April 1 of the previous year, you need a physical on file in the office before you can practice. Complete the physical card, the blue card again, and please remember to fill out the back of the card. Whether it's blue or pink, this is very important. It's a statement of insurance. Each athlete must have insurance in order to participate. If you don't have insurance, the First Agency Company offers a policy. Forms are available here. I would like to thank you for your attention. If you have questions, please ask myself or the coaches. And if something comes up at a later date, we've posted phone numbers and websites on this video, and my number and the school's phone number are located in the handbook. Good luck with your seasons, and remember to have fun.